Welcome to Programming with Python course again. Alright. Today we are going to learn different data types and then especially the simple data types. And how do we identify the data types of the variables and how can we convert from one data type to another. Then last but not least, I'm going to cover some of the methods and the string data types. Let's start with data types. Alright. So in daily life, in our life, we use to words and number to describe things, right? For example, my name. My name is Mudita. Mudita is a string, right? What a sentence. Okay, Mudita is a word. And then my name is Mudita. I'm 41 years old. 41 is a number, all right? So basically, we have only words and numbers, all right? So in the programming, these words are put it in the data type called string. Numbers are further classified into integer and float. Right? Integer is for the whole number, float is for the decimal numbers. In Python, there are four basic data types that you need to familiarize yourself with: integer, float, string, and boolean. Alright. So if you have learned any programming language, you will notice that all these are the same. Okay. So let's see how much you know about the different data types. Right? 3 is an integer. Okay, 3.99 is a decimal number, right? So we have to put it in the float data types. Boolean is what, right? So it is, we have to put it in the string data type. You can see here that Boolean is putting into the open and closing bracket, double quote, right? Double quote. In other programming language, double quote and single quotes are different, but in Python, single quote and double quote are the same, so you don't need to worry too much, all right? So if you look at the teacher is a single quote. Both Boolean and teachers are string data types. Minus 456, even though it is a negative, it is still a number, right? It is a whole number, so we can put it under the integer data type. True or false? True or false are Boolean. Boolean data types only hold one digit, all right? So it is either a true or false. Here, true is 1, false is 0, okay? So how do we know, right? Looking at the number or looking at the what, how do we know it is what is the data type of that variable? Okay. So for example, type 12, right? Type 12 is what will be the data type? It is an integer. Type 12.0, right? To you, 12 and 12.0 will be the same, but in the computer it is different. Okay. 12 is a whole number, it's an integer. 12.0 is a float. Now again, I type 12 again, but this time 12 I put another quote, right? Single quote. Okay, so this time it will give you a string data type, right? So if you look at the below one, true and true, what is the difference? The first one is putting in the double quote. The below one, I don't put anything. All right. So the first one is a string data type, and the second one will be a Boolean data type. So you need to understand all this, right? In Python, when you want to check the data type of a variable, you just use a function called type, type, and then you put in the variable inside that bracket, and you get the result. So we have learned that we need to convert the data type sometime, right? Especially when you want to do the mathematical calculation, or you want to print out a sentence which combine both words and numbers, right? So we have done an example in the last lesson. Okay, when we are printing out the conversion of USD to PP, right? We want to combine USD, which is a string. Now you know already it is a string, and then USD itself is a number, right? So we want to combine this number into a string so that we can combine these two strings together. So we have to convert this USD number into a string by using the str, right? So this str is a now used as a typecasting. We call it typecasting. We want to change the USD number, integer number, into a string by using the str typecasting. All right. So typecasting is simple. If you look at the number, right? For example, if you want to convert from the 3.2, which is a float number, into an integer, you just put integer int. If you know the data type, you will learn the typecasting. All right, because you just need to put the data type that you want. Okay. Of course, you have to be careful when you guess a float number into a integer, you lose the information. Okay. So similarly, the first one is a string, right? So if you type ups into a integer, you will get the 1. Right? Similarly, 3, if you type as float, it will be 3.0. But please note that A is a string, all right? Data type is string. You cannot guess into a integer. You will get the error for that, okay? So let's do a bit of exercise on the type casting, type of true and data type, right? So type of true will give you Boolean, yes, correct. Type of false will give you Boolean, yes, correct. All right. Integer true will give you, what will you get? You will get 1 because true is a Boolean. When you convert into an integer, it will give you 1. All right. So similarly, Boolean 1 is an integer number. But if you want to typecast into a Boolean, you will get bool, true. All right. Similarly, bool of 0 will give you false. So you have done some mathematical calculation in the previous exercise, all right? When we ask for the USD amount for the client, for the users, okay? When the user enter the USD amount in your exercise, the input function consider is a string, all right? So for us to be able to calculate it into British pound, you need to multiply with 0.82. For that, you need to convert this string into integer. So you need to do the typecasting. So typecasting is very common, all right? So sometimes you convert from the integer to float, float to integer, and the string to integer, integer to string. Okay, you have to be familiar with yourself with this. All right. Now let's talk about the mathematical operation. Okay, there are 5 basic style of mathematical operation in Python: positive, plus, minus, all right, multiplication, and division. Okay, division, another division you have to type. All right, slash division give you a float number by default. All right, but double slash will give you a integer data type. All right, so if you want to calculate using just an integer, sometimes we need to use a double slash, or you want to get a float number, you use a single slash. This one I want you to pay attention. All right, so we have learned different data types, how to identify the data type using type function, and how do we do the typecasting, especially for calculation and string sentence printing. All right, now I'm going to talk about the string. Okay, so out of the 4 data types we have learned so far: integer, boolean, float, and string. Integer, float, and booleans are only one number, right? One variable hold one number. But for string, you hold more than one character, all right? One element here, we call it. So for example, Yodida is a string, all right? There are 9 characters inside this string, okay? Each character is called element in the programming language, right? MYO and the space. Space itself is a character. You have to bear with it, all right? So you have to be careful about this. All right, so in the string, okay, later you will learn the compound data type, but now let's focus on string, right? Either in compound data type or string, we want to access the element from this particular string from compound text, right? So this is called indexing. For if you talk about the indexing, there are 2 types: positive indexing and negative indexing. Positive indexing start from 0, all right? So if you look at my variable, mu theta, my name, right? My name is a variable. Then I put the values, mu theta, string value, mu theta inside my name, all right? So the element m is located at index 0. For us to be able to access this m, you just use the square bracket and then you put the index value, all right? So my name or 0 will give you m, my names or 1 will give you y. My names or 2 will give you o, right? Or we can use a negative indexing. Negative indexing comes from the reverse order, right? The last element will be at the index of -1. So if you access my names of index -1, you will get A. My names or square brackets, then -2, you will get D, right? So you have to be careful about this. Okay. So are we accessing only one element? No, of course not. All right, you can access more than one element by using the slicing. Okay, what do we do by slicing? You use the full column. All right, 0 is to 3. 0 is to 3. That means starting from index 0 up to index 2. Remember the last. Be careful. Please take note that okay, the last 3 is the last index plus 1. All right, so the index will start from 0 and end to end at 2. So you will get the elements of M1. All right. So let's say now I want to access it theta. Okay, I want to access theta. T step F index 4. right? So if we use the previous method, what we have to do is square bracket of 4 is to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1, 9. 4 is to 9. But please note that A is the last element, right? So in this case, we don't need to put the 9. We just put full column. That's it. Okay. If you are accessing up to the last element, you just put is to. All right. So you will get these values down. Okay. Next, right? We don't want to access the continuous value. We want to access some of the elements selectively, right? So what we can do is we can use this strings writing. Here, my name of 0 is to 5 is to 2, right? I write it as that way. Okay, that means static index is 0 and the index at 4, right? And then I will jump by 2 element. So index 0, there has M. So I will jump by 2, right? The next element will be O. Okay, and O is the index 2, right? It's not ended yet because my last index is 4. So I will jump again, I will get T. Understand? Alright. Okay, another way is without giving a steady index and the index. If you don't give steady and the index, it will start from index 0 all the way towards the end, right? So here I put it as a full column 2. Okay, is to 2, right? For this exercise, you will get steady from M and then jump by 2 O and jump by 2 T, jump by 2 I and jump by 2 E. So your result will be MOTIE. Alright. Okay. So this is how you access the element, either continuously or either by jump. Okay. Next important things you need to learn is concatenating. You want to concatenate the string. You want to combine the different strings. Alright. If you remember in our first exercise, we talked about this. Okay, we want to greet that person. All right. So let's say we want to put the my name. Okay, my name is a variable which holds the string value, and then I want to combine with hello. Right. So that we can print it like hello Udita. So for that, very easy in the string concatenating, you just use the plus sign, right? And you can also use the multiplication sign by number, right? If you multiply this variable my name by 3, Udita will appear 3 times. It will be equal 3 times. That means hello Udita, Udita, Udita. This is how you get the result. All right. Okay, there are different other methods and are the string functions and methods. The first function I want you to learn is number of elements. How to check the number of elements? To check the number of elements in the string, in other words, to know the length of the string, you just use a method called len. I don't need to count one by one, right? Or if you want to convert everything, all the character into upper or lowercase, you will use dot upper method, okay, or dot lower method, right? This is quite important because especially in the data science, when user enter the name in sometimes in the lowercase, sometimes in the uppercase, we want to synchronize them all. So all the names will be converted either to upper or lower, right? Another method quite useful for us is finding the word in the string, all right, in the string. For example, I have a paragraph. I want to find some particular words from my string, all right? So I will use a method called find, F-I-N-D, find. Or we want to replace one word or one character, right? Maybe sometimes I made a mistake in my name, so I want to replace theta with T-A-R, theta, okay? So we will use a method called replace, all right? Find and replace. Next one, which is quite useful again, this one is called count. All right. So this is very important for natural language processing, text analysis. All right. So in a given sentence, in a given paragraph, we want to count how many times this particular word appears. Okay. For that, we will use a method called count. All right. Or sometimes we want to convert, split the whole sentence into words, list of words. Right. So for that, we will use split here. Okay. Here you can see the split. I just splitted the whole sentence by space bar, right? Not necessarily space. You can use the other delimiter like a dash, or like you can use a comma. You can use a full stop, period, and so on, right? So this is how you can use the split method. Next method is very useful for data analytics as well. All right. In either in Excel or in the document, when you type the name, usually sometimes we put the space, we put the white space accidentally. All right. So here you can see the Python. At first glance, you think that it's just a Python, but if you look at carefully, there's a white space in front or P as well as behind there. Right. So these white space are very annoying because sometimes we want to compare with the Python, right? But in the computer, it doesn't do because there's no Python. There's a space in front or behind, all right? So for that, we want to remove all the white space. Either Jelly or Lady, you can use strip method, SRIP strip method. It will help you to strip off all the white space, right? Last method here I want to cover is a format method. Okay, this format method you have used it earlier. Like when you want to especially print out a meaningful sentence. All right, you want to combine the variable with the sentence string. Okay, in a sentence, we can use a format. We can use a format method to format a string using the placeholder. All right. So for this placeholder, it can be like a name index or number index or even the empty placeholders. What do we mean? Let's look at this one. Here I have a string. My name is. Then I use a placeholder, right? Curly bracket. I am curly bracket. Okay. Here I put the variable name and age, and then after that, inside the format bracket, I define this name and age using the values. All right. Or another way is just put the index instead of variable name. All right. Zero. The first one here is 0. Second one is 1. You can just use it. All right. Or another way is without even putting name or number, you just put the empty placeholder. Okay, then it will automatically format it. Isn't it very useful? All right, it is very useful method. Of course, there are other methods and other tools. Here, I'm focusing more on the methods we usually use as a data analyst and data scientist. In the next lesson, we will cover about the compound data types. That's all for today. Thank you very much.